Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have to talk a little bit with you about what's going on with Doomsday and the fact that I think it's absolutely killing Marvel. The leaks have been just destroying any interest that I have in this film, and I'm afraid that that's going to be the same experience for everybody. I'm curious if that's the same experience for you, but we'll get into the comments here in just a little while. We'll get into the latest of spoilers that I want to cover. And I'm not trying to wreck your movie, guys. I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth seeing. So, on that front, here we go. And now, of course, the thumbnail tells you all. I mean, the Doomsday leaks are just killing Marvel. They're killing the Avengers. They're killing my interest in the movie. This article that came out on the 9th from Matt McGloin over at Cosmic Book News is one of the reasons that I'm going. All of these things have proven to be true in a lot of various ways. And look, it's the same kind of quality of leak and the same consistency of leak that we got prior to the last disaster, the Fantastic Four, and even with the Thunderdolts. So there's people talking at Marvel right now because they're not satisfied with the product that's being put out there for each and every one of us. And that includes even the Russo brothers stuff. Now, the Russo brothers kind of got revealed to be snake oil salesmen at the last couple of efforts that they had at Netflix. So I'm not really convinced that they are the future for Marvel, but Kevin Feige seems to be. So jumping into the story, and this is what makes it worse than most of the other leaks, is some promotional image have seemingly leaked from Avengers Doomsday. They hit Reddit and X over the weekend, and a lot of people took a look at them and immediately turned their noses up. This time, the subject is a masked figure fans have taken to calling Boris, widely believed to be Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange. Now, I know that we already know that Doctor Strange goes bad because of his time in the Darkhold. All of that's absolutely, definitely going to be in this film. The problem is that we didn't get any weight from the Fantastic Four, which is really directly tied to the reactions of the main characters, or what should be the main characters in this film. Nobody's buying Pedro Pascal as a superhero, and that was clear in the last film. And it doesn't sound like they're promoting him all that much, which explains to me where they think the story is going. But the 3 studio-style photos show a figure wrapped in a black Latverian robe with a draped hood and a sash across the cheek and a segmented metal gauntlets. Now, the full metal mask covers the face, and centered on the forehead sits a circular slot that is doing all the heavy lifting here. Well, what heavy lifting is that, Culture? Well, it's going to be the third eye. Why would you have a third eye helmet if you were not Dr. Doom? And this is one of the new Doom leaks that are out there in the world, and why Boris means Doctor Strange is a bigger, broader part of the conversation. Now, Cumberbatch was never part of Marvel's marathon cast reveal and was never spotted on set, but that doesn't mean this wasn't done at some point in some way at another location. Multiple reports claimed he filmed high-security scenes in the UK anyway, and is working under the production code name of Boris, which is why he's got the fan nickname for Boris. It is what it is. And a lot of other people are running with this story right now, including my pal Marvin Montanaro over at That Park Place, and, of course, his show that he does with real-life fake wizard called the Culture Crossfire, which, you know, is weird because I don't know why they'd want to promote me, but I appreciate it. Anyway, so the code name is definitely a wink at this point. In the comics, Boris is Victor Von Doom's loyal Latvian retainer, the servant who helped raise him, which tells you exactly what kind of role Strange is allegedly playing. It also might explain why we will get the eventual return of an Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. playing him, and maybe this dual role will go away. I don't know, nor do I care, but we'll get back into what insider Daniel Richtman reported back in March. Doom's right-hand man in the film is a wizard who uses a sling ring and wears a mask similar to Doom's, with a slot for a third eye on his forehead. The leaked costume matches the description down to the slot and really gives it away. And there's no other way to look at this. This is absolutely a dead giveaway. Strange was last seen in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, another failure of a film. sprouting a third eye from his Darkhold use before heading off with Clea to fix an incursion that he caused. But honestly, is that really what happened? Probably not. At the end of the day, I imagine he went full Latverian support system and got involved with the bad guys. Doesn't surprise me at all. So One Shot even has the figure extending an open palm, which is about as close to a spellcasting pose as a promo photo can strike. Now, the catch. Richmond's mask description has been public since March, so either these images have been the real deal or someone has spent an awful lot of time convincing everybody that this fake was based off a published spec sheet, or that it's not a fake and it's definitely from a published spec sheet. Given that this is a year of production or more, the fact that it was more likely real than not is a smart bet. Disney takedown notices already authenticated earlier leaked footage and promo-style shots that have been escaping since last November, which is a bad sign for Disney. And this is not something that's been fixed around this film. They've had this problem for a long time, and most of the leaks have been 100% spot on. This last phase of Marvel has really been disappointing to fans. So the fact that people are so invested in the leaks around this particular film tells you that a lot of people are going to be keeping their wallet in their pocket. I don't expect this to do the same kind of business that Spider-Man Brand New Day has. Some people still do. I don't see it. I don't see the hype. I haven't heard the hype, but if that changes, I'll change my tune as well. Look, Marvel already showed everybody Doom's followers. We got it on stage at the reveal at Comic-Con, and we got it at Comic-Con once again. So if a robed and masked servant in Doom sounds far-fetched, Marvel spent Comic-Con arguing otherwise and eventually rotated various costumes across the mannequin on panel day. And if you've seen those images, you know what I'm talking about. So Doom keeping a court of masked followers is already baked into the marketing and the machine that the marketing built. And we saw it, as I pointed out before, in the actual reveal of who Dr. Doom was going to be when RDJ stripped the mask from his face, surrounded by more masked people. Look, ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not super excited about this, and it's based on Jonathan Hickman's 2015 work around Secret Wars. Strange serves as the sheriff of Battleworld and the right hand to the God Emperor Doom version of the character, which I didn't appreciate at all. In fact, to me, Marvel went off the rails in 2013 and has never ventured back into anything that I would ever have a pull list from. That's an entirely other conversation and an entirely other story. But there are new plot leaks, which we'll jump into here. You see, the images landed on the heels of another alleged full plot breakdown making the rounds, and very much in line with the other plot breakdowns that came before, only filling in little details and replacing some elements with others, and yet keeping the same structure of the story and, unfortunately, some of the characters that we absolutely know are going to die. So right now, the details are not being published by Cosmic Book News, but you can find them in a lot of other places, including Reddit. So from what they already scraped together and was described as legitimate by John Campea, basically outlines a story that we have now heard for months. And Marvel has stayed quiet on all of it because, well, the silence in itself is its own answer, according to Matt. So, directed by Joe and Anthony Russo, Avengers Doomsday opens wide on December 18th. And before that, in September, they're dropping Endgame all over again with tiny little clips of added footage to kind of correct the direction that Marvel went and destroyed from Endgame going forward to this date. So is that enough to get people to go and see Endgame again? I don't think so. I know it won't be me, and I probably won't be too terribly lost when I get presented with this film in the theater. However, I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know a lot of people that are. I have a question. Are you? In fact, let me know if you plan on seeing Doomsday in theaters around Christmas time. Let me know if you plan to see any of the other films, such as Avengers Endgame, before it. And let me know if there's any film that could bring you back to theaters that is going to actually show up by the end of this year. Because the only one I can think of off the top of my head is Dune 3. That's it. Everything else is an also-ran at this point, and I don't think a lot of other people would disagree. Maybe Godzilla -0, but absent that, I don't care. And that's a sad place to be. Anyway, your thoughts around this film, these leaks, and whether or not these leaks are absolutely killing this film, and all your thoughts down below would be appreciated. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Hopefully at a better movie than what we're going to get with Doomsday.